Good to see you.
Good to see you, Simmer.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for
welcome
showing
back.
up, my friend.
Welcome back.
Oh, of course.
It's been a while since you had one of these, huh?
Yeah.
What's it like to be back and take part in a little bit different way as an alumnus now?
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's crazy. It's really cool. Obviously, just meeting our friends. We got the best fans in the league, right? So It's anytime you get to interact with the fans, it's great. So obviously, a little bit different. I'm not standing in a booth for 3 hours by myself. A little bit lonely and isolated, but I get to come with you guys and speak a little bit. So it's been cool.
You know what's funny, Simmer? I remember I was a kid. It was 1995, and it was my first carnival.
Yep.
And I don't know, I'm sure I got this from a lot of guys. I was stunned by what I'd seen. And I didn't know what it was. I thought it was.
Yeah.
My memory is, oh my God, what a connection they have to the city of Philadelphia to have fans come out on an off day to support this. And now I'm thinking I'm on my 30th carnival or something like that. And it never ceases to amaze me.
You know what, I can say the same. I remember being traded from LA and then coming to this and I'm being like, what's going to happen? What's going to be like? And I remember I stayed for almost an hour afterwards because there were so many fans in line still. And I just I have to sign these people's stuff. I'm like, I can't just cut anybody off, right? I just felt like the connection between the fans and us. And it's just and I think that's why the fans love the Flyers so much, because a lot of the guys stayed that long after the fact. When lines got cut off, guys were like, no, we'll finish. So. Obviously, the fans are extremely important to this team, and we treat them as such.
And I guess it doesn't surprise you because you know what the fans are like here. But here's a team that hasn't made the playoffs for 4 years.
Yep.
May not make it this year too, right? But who knows? It's close, but they may not. And yet the turnout today is one of the largest, if not the largest, they've ever had. What does that tell you about? This city is ready. We were talking about this just before while we were waiting for you to come over. This city is ready to explode to love hockey again.
Yeah.
Right? You kind of get that sense.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
Just coming into the city from the airport on Friday, you can feel it. Obviously, with the Eagles winning, people want another parade, right?
Yeah.
And I think the way the team is being built, the way that the guys are playing, the way that Torts is coaching them up, and Danny and Jonesy doing their thing, I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Simmer, how does you're back with the team? I remember we had you last year, and I remember you said you'd love to come back and work here, and things have come through. Tell us quickly, just on terms of what you're doing for the club and your relationship to it.
So my official title is community ambassador and hockey ops consultant. So this is my third time down. Doing some meet and greets and stuff. Just meeting people and being an ambassador for the team, and then. When I'm back in Toronto, just traveling around, watching some OHL games, and we got a lot of draft picks. We got 3 first-rounders and 3 second-rounders, right? So I've just been out trying to watch the young guys and, contributing in that way.
So it's almost like a scouting thing.
Yeah.
How do you like that? Well, it's an interesting way of watching the game, right? You're looking at specific players and not necessarily the whole game, right?
It's weird because, like you said, it's specific players, and I find myself missing a lot of the game because I'm so keyed in on the guys that I'm watching, but it's cool. For me, it's another way to, be involved with hockey. And obviously, I'm sitting, I'm watching far, and I'm not really focused on the game as a whole, but trying to tell if a player is going to be a good professional, if they're going to be like an AHL player, an NHL player. I'm enjoying it a lot.
And have you had a moment yet when you've been watching a game, you're supposed to be cued in on one player? Yeah. But then your eye goes to somebody totally different.
Yeah.
Somebody just jumps off.
Oh, yeah.
What's that like, and how do you relay that back? Do you go all right, I had an eye on this guy.
Side note.
Yeah, okay.
But a side note, I know I'm not supposed to watch this guy, but I found myself, and I like that kid. I think that kid's a great player, and, I just write it down. Just jot it down.
Now, are you interacting with those kids at all, too, or are you just watching from upstairs?
Mostly just watching from upstairs, but I've gone to a few games with John Leclerc. So, I got a chance to talk to Jet. When we were in Guelph, I want to say at the beginning of the year, after Jet got sent back, I think I watched him in his first game in Brantford, so I went down and I spoke to him a little bit. But for the most part, I'm just watching from up top.
What did you think of him talking to him?
Jet, he's a very humble kid, great head on his shoulders. He's going to be an amazing player for us. I think he's going to be special.
Have you had a chance to see any of the London games?
I haven't seen London play yet.
Okay.
No, I haven't seen London.
I know we have a couple.
Yet.
We have a couple.
Yeah,
kids
I know we got Barkey and Bonky, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna get out to see those guys, but more so for me, I think I've been focusing on the draft and just watching prospective players that we might take in maybe the first few rounds.
Pretty cool. Like
It is cool stuff, Simmer. It really is.
yeah, and I didn't realize it was that much scouting that you were doing. That's
Yeah,
it's
well,
kind
you
of
know
neat.
what? I haven't
It's neat.
I haven't done a ton, but it's just like, I get a night off with the kids, whatever. I go out and watch a game.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just something where, I enjoy watching hockey, right? So this is just another aspect to where, like I said, like, and the main thing is like when I focus on those guys, it's weird because like I don't see the game. Like I'm not even really paying attention to the game. I'm just paying attention to those guys in particular.
Yeah.
And then like you asked the question before, a lot of times my eye does go, and then you got to look and you got to see if he's drafted already, how old he is, right? So there's a lot of different criteria, that comes with it. So I've just been trying to learn slowly, but I'm enjoying it.
Have you had an opportunity to watch the NHL team much this year?
I try to watch them as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your impression?
The boys work hard.
Yeah, it's a hard-working team.
Yeah, it's an extremely hard-working team. I think Torts has done a great job with them. Like his expectations, if you're not living up to them, you're not going to play. And I think that sets a good foundation for further down the line when the team is more built up, because everybody is going to be expected to play the same way. I kind of liken it to like how the Boston Bruins go, right? One guy's out, next man up mentality. The next guy comes in and they play just as good as the other guy, and for short stints of time, like you would never know, like some guys are not in the lineup. So it's, I think that's the way that we're kind of headed. That's from just my perspective, but I don't know. That's just what I've been seeing.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the Four Nations.
Yep.
Just happened.
Just going to ask
Now,
him that, yeah.
I happen to be the biggest basketball fan, I think, of the three of us on the panel.
Okay.
But like, I was watching PK Subban the other day,
Yeah.
right? And he kind of like laid into
The NBA?
the culture difference between
Yeah.
the leagues.
Yeah.
And we've had debates on this show about, is the Four Nations ultimately good for the league? And has it put the league in good position? You do have a guy like McAvoy, is probably going to miss the rest of the year.
Shoot, is that what they said? I heard
There's
Kachuk
good
too,
chance
possibly.
Yeah.
Like that,
Possibility.
We're looking
Yeah.
at
And
we're looking
Shea
at some
Theodore.
potentially-
It's going to be out for a long time, too.
So when you
Oh
look
my
at
God.
when you look at it from the standpoint of all the eyes that it brought
Yeah.
to the league, and the fact that it was the highest rated game. What was it, Ant? The highest rated NHL in 30 years.
Yeah, NHL
30
affiliated
years.
games.
When,
yeah.
when you take a look at
That's
that,
amazing.
but then you do have to
Yeah.
kind of weigh. Imagine being in a locker room like a Boston,
Yeah.
where
Now your best
now-
defenseman's gone, right, for the whole year.
How do you look at it? Do you look at it as it was a good thing for the league overall? Is it something where you look at it more from the team level and you go, yo, that sucks that we lost our guy? Like, where would you land?
It's a fine line for me. I think that tournament in and of itself was amazing for our league.
Yes.
It was amazing for our league. If I'm the owner, the GM of the Boston Bruins, I'm pissed. I'm mad. I just lost my best defenseman. We're fighting for a playoff spot, and I'm not going to have him back. But in saying that, I think the eyes that it drew to our game is only going to help us, right? Like, so I was reading something or Gary Bettman announced that we're going to do World Cup,
Yeah.
right? So it's going to be Olympics, World Cup. We're committed to what? To do
Every 2 years.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
2 years,
Yeah.
right? So maybe if you can find a different, I don't know, like they did the World Cup before and they did it at the beginning of the season, right?
Correct,
Yep.
yes.
So I know guys don't want to start early and it makes the season longer. But if that's the case and guys want to play best on best, I think maybe doing that would be the best option,
I'm
the
with you.
best marriage.
I agree.
For the players and the teams itself. Because having that in the middle of the year, you're going to go play for your country. You're going to play as hard as you can.
96 World Cup was an immense success, and it happened in September.
Yeah.
So if you stay away from Sundays,
Yeah.
which is easy to do,
Yep.
don't play on Sundays. You're
Yeah.
going to get beat up by the NFL. That's the way it
Yeah,
goes.
100%.
So figure it out. But remember, Johnny, when we were talking that night, what I loved was Leclerc.
Yeah.
What made the most sense was he goes, star players are only going to play 2 or 3 exhibition games anyway.
Yeah.
So use the training camp as their training camp.
I'm that's my train of thought. Like
Same here.
I completely agree with that. Like I know, like I probably wouldn't want to play early, but if you can tell me I'm going to play best on best and I'm playing for my country, I'm gonna ramp it up
You're
3
gonna be
weeks
jacked up.
earlier. Yeah, right. I'm gonna get it going a month, 3 weeks earlier because I want to play for my country. But also, you're being paid by our organization to give everything you have, right? So I also wouldn't want to let them down. So I guess the best way to do it is to do it at the beginning of the year, and then if guys do get hurt, like serious injuries, you're going to miss 2-3 months, right? But you're still back in it for the push, like for what they want. Hopefully the injuries don't happen, but when guys play that hard, like the pride is like watching Team USA play Team Canada was unbelievable.
Oh,
like,
sorry.
There were two great games.
like that first, like
Both
we
games.
need another one, right? Like, where's game 3? So, like, I don't know. I just thought it was amazing. It brought way more eyes to our sport. It made it more popular, and the only thing I didn't like about it, it was politicized. That's the only thing I didn't really like about it. But other than that, like, the boys played so hard, and I was proud, to say I'm an NHL alumni.
And look,
me
look,
too.
Simmer, just one more thing on this, because I think it's a fascinating conversation. And obviously, you can't play 82 games at that intensity level.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. But what got everybody excited about the game was the what was going on was the physicality that was being played, and that's not in the everyday NHL anymore.
No.
Does when you watch that and you see that and you see the positive response that it gets, doesn't the league have to look at that and go, hey, maybe we should start letting some of that back in, because that's what fans react to in the positive way?
Yeah.
Not to say that we need 3 fights a night. I'm not saying that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just more regular.
Yeah, I know. I like the way I played the game. I love that.
Right.
To be a player in the NHL, I feel like you have to play like that. And if you have an off night, you're still playing physical. Maybe you're not fighting all the time, but at the same time, you need to be physical. You need to play the game that way. And like PK said, I think that's what separates our sport from basketball, right? And even football, that's why football is separated from basketball. Guys in basketball, they don't really, they play half the time, right? But they make 1,000% more money, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought PK had some good points in what he was saying, and I just really hope this helps propel our league and lifts us a little bit higher.
The comparisons you could draw between, and I'm not taking a shot at basketball. They have their league and they're doing their thing or whatever, but there's no comparison between the level.
We all know that.
Yeah. There's nothing. There was no comparison.
Simmer, always a pleasure, my friend.
Great to see you, Wayne.
Great to see you. Thanks for being here.
It's an honor for having me, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you again, and hopefully you'll have some good insights to give them for the draft, because I know that's something that we're all going to be looking forward to. With 7 picks of the first 50, it's going to be interesting.
I got a lot more hockey to watch. I'm getting excited for the end of the year, and going to watch some playoff games in the OHL. So
good stuff.
It's going to be
Great
great
stuff, Simmer.
Very good.
Wayne Simmonds, always a pleasure, my friend.